Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I just want to do a quick little follow-up on yesterday's Black Friday guide video. If you haven't checked that out, I'll either leave a link below or in the corner or something like that. But it is on my channel. I did a Black Friday guide video for all the rundowns of the products that's supposed to come out and the sales and the tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't want to tack this on with my Candle Day guide video to make it even longer, so I wanted to cover the online exclusive Black Friday candles that have literally just popped up this morning, and just actually give an actual constructive or helpful rundown of the candles that have popped up online, and just my brief thoughts about it. And then in the second portion of the video, I'm just going to do a quick little rant video just to get a few things off my chest, and we'll go and do this video like that. So yeah, basically there was a whole slew of new candles that dropped online for Black Friday, and they are available right now, but there is also the last day of the candle sale today, which is $10 off 3 wicks, so that puts them at $14.50 rather than doing the buy 3 get 3 and doing the 6 of 6, which would put you at like, what is it, $12.25 or something like that. So it's either $14.50 or $12.25. I don't imagine a lot of these will sell out before the actual Black Friday promo starts, because like I'm assuming they poured these or made these for Black Friday, so they're not going to have that less of stock for it to be depleted for Black Friday. But once again, who knows, there's some stuff that sells out really quick, but if you really want them today, honestly, there's nothing really all that exciting in there. They are available for $14.50 if you want to get them today, and then they'll be Saturday, Sunday, and then Black Friday will start on Monday. Yeah. So basically the new candles they're all repackaged. They're the follow-up to the Frosted Fables collection, but they're using the packaging. I'll put pictures while I'm talking about them. They're using the packaging that existed on the single wick candles, I believe, on both collections that are out right now. Vanilla Birch is the same old Vanilla Birch that's out right now. That's in the fancy glass lid collection as well. This one just smells like a wine cellar repackaged, but made a little less berry and deep and a little bit more woodsy. It's very similar to the Henry Bendel Vanilla Bean fragrance, and I think they just sort of like carry that over into Vanilla Birch, or very similar fragrance as Vanilla Birch, and that just comes back all the time. It's always out. So if you enjoy wine cellar and want a little tweak on it, the Vanilla Birch is there. The one, I guess, interesting one is Balsam Firewood, which has actually come out for a few years now. I never thought this one's so popular, but it keeps coming back. So once again, these are online exclusives, so you can't get them in the store at the moment. We have Balsam Firewood here. This is from 2019. Cedarwood, Cardamom, and White Birch. This one's nice if you want a woodsy, smoky fragrance, so I actually sort of recommend this one. It's sort of like if you were just start to put fire to wood, and it has a slight smokiness, but it still retains sort of that crisp wood smell that you get naturally from the outside. So it's not quite, it doesn't go quite as smoky or intense or warm as Fireside, which this is already like, oh, the fire's already been going. This one has more of that sort of leathery amber fragrance in there that makes it a little bit warmer and a little bit more intense, and a little bit less crisp and natural as Balsam Firewood. This sort of reminds me of like when there's a fireplace going outside, like when it's cold out and you walk out and you smell that sort of natural fire fragrance. It's kind of like that. So you do get that firewood fragrance in there. I don't really get balsam in the sense that you get it in fresh balsam, where it's that sort of sweet, sappy, fresh balsam fragrance. It's more of that balsam that they use in that Balsam and Birch fragrance, which is also a repackaged white balsam and vanilla, where it's this sort of like more woodsy, slightly sweet, like deep fragrance. It's hard to describe, but Balsam and Birch has a similar balsam note in here that is not the same as the fresh balsam, but it's that sort of like Marshmallow Fireside quality type of fiery, woodsy smokiness to it. It's quite nice though. This one was lighter than I had hoped for. Making other comparisons, it's sort of similar to Smoked Vanilla. I freaking love this one. This was also 2019. This is Creamy Vanilla, Smoked Sandalwood, and Rich Bourbon. This one is so much more of that like sort of sweet, smooth, cashmere vanilla type fragrance in there, mixed with the most juiciest, firewood fragrance. It's very smoky and delicious. This is my favorite out of like the ones that I just talked about. Kind of like this, but once again, a little bit more crisp and natural, and more just like a straight up firewood fragrance, and none of that vanilla. But I think if you like Balsam and Birch, but want a more crisp, natural, less sweet, and less Marshmallow Fireside version of it, then you might want to check out Balsam and Firewood. This one's actually decent, and it's in like cute packaging for once. It almost always comes out in White Barn Core. There's Sparkling Woods. That there's two versions. There's one that came out like all year or to all stores, and that one was not good. It smelled like a like sort of bergamot type of cologne citrus, but mixed with a weird perfume blend to it. That one leaned a little bit more feminine, but it was just, it sort of smells like off spray mixed with perfume. It's just simply not good. But reading the notes, I believe it's actually the second variation, which was the sparkling woods that came out in that like winter like campy looking packaging when it came out with like Blue Winter Sky, and that one was a test store fragrance that I picked up at the test store, and then it became an online exclusive, so that did not actually go to all stores. And that one just smells like a lemon verbena type of fragrance, where it's just like this super crisp like, you know, that acidic lemon cleaner, like Pledge type of, you know, lemon cleaner type of fragrance. Very sour, has that sour, like acidic lemon citrus quality to it. Very similar to lemon verbena. Not at all a like winter fragrance. Just, I don't understand why that's back, but it is. So there's sparkling woods, vanilla bean marshmallow. Everybody knows that. It's the same thing as the vanilla bean and the buttercream icing that comes out all the time. Vanilla bean's almost always in the core line. It's also very, very similar to vanilla pumpkin marshmallow, but minus the very little amount of spice that vanilla pumpkin marshmallow has, but still pretty much the same fragrance. The issue with that fragrance is it almost always nubs out or duds out because it's a vanilla fragrance. It's a great fragrance on cold, and I really enjoy it. And I think I got satisfaction out of it only the first year, but then all the other years past that, it just always nubs out and craps out. But it's that juicy, fluffy marshmallow vanilla bean fragrance. It's really nice, but it's the same basic fragrance that we get all the time that's always out. There's also black tie. That one's a cologne fragrance. Actually not so bad of a cologne fragrance. It's more of like this, there's a crisp sweetness to it that sets it apart from the other ones that actually kind of don't mind it, and I sort of enjoy it. I don't have one in my collection because I don't love it that much, but it's there and exists. The thing with this is that this is also coming out in the Roaring 20s packaging for Candle Day, or after Candle Day, so I don't understand why there's two variations of it, but that also exists. One that's not shown online yet, but I believe there's going to be a Blue Winter Sky also in that collection, so if you want to hold off on doing purchases until Monday, I would assume it might pop up online by then. There's a Blue Winter Sky in this packaging as well. That one just smells like one of those like eucalyptus spearmint type of like variations to it. Has that sort of herbal fragrance with that sort of like spearmint type of cooling mint fragrance to it. Kind of, once again, cologne-ish. Once again, nothing I care for. I bought it at the test store in Atlanta one time and gave it to my parents because I was just like, I don't like this. So that's Blue Winter Sky. There's also another collection that also rehashes. So not only are they repackaging fragrances, but they're also repackaging labels. And it's the collection that is the single wicks, I believe, also exist in this. There is a Chestnut Clove, which has been out. It was Winter Cabin originally, and then it came out as White Barn number 3. And then I have it in a Thankful Chestnut Clove packaging here from, I don't know, years before. This is 2015. This is Chestnut, Cedar, and Clove. Very similar, very, very similar to the Acorn Lane that we had here, but ever so slight differences. This one, the Chestnut, is stronger, and it's a little bit just more heavy than Acorn Lane is, but you get the traditional like fall type of spices with the clove in there, and then you get a really robust nutty chestnut fragrance in there. It's very cozy. It's like a nice, good fragrance to burn like when it's like really cold outside. I really do think this is a quintessential Thanksgiving fragrance, even though Thanksgiving has sort of been canceled from all the rising cases in COVID this year, so that sort of blows. But if you want Thanksgiving alone, like I might have to, then you can light up Chestnut and Clove and have that Thanksgiving cozy atmosphere. So that was that, and of course Acorn Lane, I finally burned it. This one is not as heavy on the chestnut, and there is a more crisp apple cinnamon fragrance to it. It's like a very, very, very toned down leaves that got injected into Chestnut and Clove, and it became a little bit more crisp and light and less heavy as Chestnut and Clove. It's still a very cozy, nostalgic fragrance, so it is what it is. And also in that collection, there is a Apple Garland that is not a new fragrance, that's been out I think twice before, and a few variations of it. There was a White Barn Christmas, which isn't exactly it, and then there was an Apple Spruce, which kinda is it. And then I believe there was an apple garland that came out in test stores, and I picked it up at a random like rundown store just one day for SAS. And then it also came out again as apple garland in the, I think the same year that Blue Winter Sky and Sparkling Woods came out, in that red jar. And I think that one actually isn't the same as Apple Spruce, White Barn Christmas, or the original test store apple garland. It's so confusing. There's so many of like they just, you know, rename and tweak stuff. But I'm assuming this is the same as the most recent apple garland that was in the red packaging. That is like a toned down autumn. You do get a little bit of a greenery, like spruce type of balsam fragrance to it. It's a lot more toned down. It's not quite as sweet and sappy as fresh balsam is. It's just like a very mild Christmas tree fragrance mixed with a very mild apple as well. It's pleasant. It's like if they took down autumn and just watered it down by quite a bit, then that's what you get from apple garland. Little less sharp or harsh than autumn, and just made it a little bit more, I guess, pleasant and smooth. It's decent. I already have autumn, and I like the more crisp, intense version, so I have no need for the apple garland, but that one's actually decent. So if you've never tried that one and want autumn, but in a little more, I guess, subtle or smoother fragrance, then you can get that one. And not shown, but should be coming up, at least hopefully for Black Friday. There is a butter rum eggnog in that collection as well, in a red packaging with Santa on it. So people should be excited about that. So once again, if you're trying to hold off to do your buy 3 gift 3 and are waiting around for butter rum eggnog, once again, stuff is always subject to change, but information that I have is that there is going to be a butter rum eggnog in that packaging. And we have that here. This one's a huge hit. Everyone was like, why the hell is that salted caramel eggnog out, which just smells like salted caramel mixed with like a pumpkin caramel latte type of creamy action and not actually an eggnog fragrance. Then you will be excited to see that this might be coming out. Spiced eggnog, vanilla bourbon, and rich buttercream with shaved nutmeg. This is a quintessential, beautiful, gorgeous eggnog fragrance. You get all the cozy spices in there, mixed with like that vanilla bean marshmallow type of base. It's very creamy, very thick, has that thick nog fragrance to it. Yeah, it's excellent. So you should be excited that it should be coming out in this collection as well. So that was butter rum eggnog right there. And I believe that is it for all the repackages. There's a whole slew of new soaps, and 1,000 Christmas Wishes is also already out. And then, of course, the collection that I was just talking about, the This Just In collection also dropped online. So if you don't want to wait to get that for Black Friday and just want to do it like the $10 off promotion now, then that is an option. I'm going to just briefly talk about the ones that I haven't done individual reviews on yet, just to be comprehensive. I already did the reviews on all the other ones on my channel. They already exist. So we first have White Velvet Coconut right here. This one is White Velvet Cake Coconut Shavings White Buttercream. This is not as grody or disgusting as toasted coconut. It doesn't have that burnt singed hair fragrance mixed with burnt caramel. There's traces of that still in there, but it's not quite as bad or off-putting or even as strong as toasted coconut is. That was just nasty, but still a very similar toasted coconut fragrance exists in here. And they sort of cut it with a more pleasant and buttery, creamy coconut cream pie fragrance, which came out in that exclusive like bakery collection online with chocolate rose macaron, that strawberry maple pancakes and all that kind of stuff, or waffles, whatever. It's like they took coconut cream pie and then shoved toasted coconut in there, so it takes the edge off of the harsh toasted coconut fragrance, and you get a little bit more of a creamy, buttery experience, but it's still not quite as pleasant or juicy as the coconut cream pie fragrance. That one had even a stronger butteriness to it. It also had a sort of implied like crust note that was sort of cozy and bakery goodness that this doesn't quite have. But if you like toasted coconut but didn't want something that was as harsh or nasty or just offensive as that, this is a good compromise. I would say it was a medium to medium strong. I could definitely smell it. It actually lingered for a little bit too, but just very run-of-the-mill coconut fragrance. It's just a rehash of all their other coconut fragrances, and it's just certainly not suitable for Christmas time. So that was White Velvet Coconut right there. Alpine Skies is just awful. That's what this is here. This is not a repackage in my opinion. Of course, everyone is up for debate on that, and you're totally entitled with that because noses are all subjective. So you can smell what you want on it. Grapefruit Blossom, Salted Cedar, Sweet Amber. This is a strong, oh God, it's just like one of those awful cologne fragrances that have that heavy, super intense bergamot smell in there. I get like a bitter lime and lemon blend is what I get, which I guess is really what bergamot is. So I don't really get grapefruit blossom. And grapefruit blossom sort of smells more like an orange blossom. So that totally doesn't make sense because it smells more like just lime or lemon. Just very harsh and strong. A strong cologne fragrance. And then you just get like this weird mothball perfume fragrance. So it is mainly cologne, but there is a subtle hint of this like mature perfume in there that smells like mothballs, and it's just terrible. It's not wintry at all. I don't understand why this is out. Like this could literally be like Mary Mistletoe, Winter Garland, Winter White Woods, Snow Date, Winter Mint and Spruce, Frosted Alpine, literally you name it. Yeah, it was strong though, and you could smell it, but it was nothing I ever enjoyed. We have Cinnamon Gingersnap right here. This one is gingerbread spice, homemade marshmallow, vanilla bean with essential oils. This is not gingerbread marshmallow. It sort of reminds me of their old frosted gingerbread fragrance, so it still is pretty much a gingerbread fragrance. There is a slight sweet like bakery aspect in here that I kind of enjoy. Yeah, there is actually quite a bit of like a sweet, creamy vanilla fragrance in there, and that's why I think it reminds me of frosted gingerbread, because that had that like sort of icing note in there. But this one's heavier on that cinnamon, and the cinnamon is very strong and prominent, and it's mixed with gingerbread. Kind of redundant and duplicate because there's so many other gingerbread fragrances already out. Totally not necessary for me, but if you like cinnamon gingerbread type fragrances and want every variation out there, this is a slight tweak on it. This one was just medium. I struggled to smell it in an open concept area, and it was just a light to a medium in my smaller office room. So that is Cinnamon Gingersnap right there. This one has the curling wicks on it, but it burned fine. And then we have lastly Chocolate Grams right here, which I was really stoked about at the beginning, but I'm not so stoked about now. This is milk chocolate, graham cracker, caramel swirl, and vanilla extract with essential oils. The more I burn this, the more I realize it is not my beloved Italy cannoli and chocolate right here. And it is more similar to Toasted Graham Latte that came out many years back. It was like available for 75% off for the longest time because like nobody liked it and they tried to offload it. It's more similar to Toasted Graham Latte minus that weirdness. So Toasted Graham Latte was supposed to be like a toasted graham cracker fragrance with a little bit of latte infused coffee in there. So it had a slight implied chocolate note that came from the coffee bean, but there was this weird sour staleness that came from either what was supposed to be the latte dairy milk or just the graham cracker note came off even more stale than it does in chocolate grams, and it was just very strange and odd. But there were some times where I actually really enjoyed it, and it was like quite strong and delicious. And they sort of took that and rectified the issues that Toasted Graham Latte had and gave us chocolate grams. And so basically, this one you get more of a heavier emphasis on the graham cracker note. That is the strongest note, and that's sort of what it was Toasted Graham Latte, but it just had those other weird notes bringing it down. This does not have that. It's more so that super strong graham cracker fragrance has that crumbly butteriness in there. It's quite authentic, but the chocolate note is not as pronounced on this in the same way that it wasn't pronounced in Toasted Graham Latte, whereas I feel like the chocolate is a little bit stronger in this. This one you get more so just that like graham cracker note with a very, very faint implied chocolate note and then like a creamy vanilla action in there. It's very similar to Toasted Graham Latte actually. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of gooey marshmallow at times too. There's a subtle brown sugar element with a gooey marshmallow type of vanilla fragrance. I don't think it's exactly gooey marshmallow. That was stronger on the brown sugar, but a very similar concept to it. So if you missed a gooey marshmallow, I think you might actually enjoy this one. I think they are sibling fragrances, but I think this is more mainly Toasted Graham Latte just tweaked to be a little bit more pleasant. So you get that graham cracker note with a little bit of vanilla and then an ever so slight chocolate in there. It's nowhere near as strong as the chocolates that they've had before. As it compares to Italy cannoli and chocolate, this is still the #1 in my book. This one has more of a prominent, yeah, the chocolate in here is more prominent. It's similar to the hot fudge sundae, like chocolate drizzle syrup type of fragrance is what I get from it. The marshmallow in here is a lot more robust and sweet and lighthearted, and the graham cracker isn't as crumbly or stale as it is in chocolate graham or Toasted Graham Latte. So it's just a better blend. It's a little bit more robust. It's a little bit more pleasant, and the graham cracker isn't so prominent, and you get a little bit better of a balance of the marshmallow and chocolate. Similar fragrances, but I think this one's executed a little bit better. A little bummed that this isn't exactly this. I think that's a better s'mores fragrance because the chocolate note is more prominent in here, whereas this is just like a graham cracker fragrance. It was light to medium, kind of got lost in this open concept area. I could smell it to maybe like a 5 in a smaller bedroom. It wasn't unscented, but it's not Italy cannoli and chocolate, so I will most likely return or exchange the second one I bought because it's decent, but it's not, oh my god, wow. So that was Chocolate Grams right there. And I believe that is it for all the a rundown of the new product the new quote-unquote product that came online. Just wanted to give a quick thoughts and reviews in case you were shopping for those, but I didn't want to tack it onto the candle day video to add another 20 minutes to it. And that segues into my little rant video. Who else is just so sick of repackages? Oh my lord, like, can't Bath & Body Works give us something new for once? Like literally everything that just came out of that collection is all repackaged. None of it is new. I don't understand. Like, they can send all the friggin' free PR they want to try and mask their old tired products and their old fragrances and get favorable reviews out there. But us hardcore Bath & Body Works loyalists have been with them for like many years. We just want something friggin' new. Like, I don't understand why they just can't give us throw us a bone and give us something genuinely new. I don't know if COVID or the pandemic had something to do with creating new fragrances, but I don't understand why there's nothing new coming out anymore. And with BBW, we go through these cycles where they go in a pattern of just repackaging everything to the heavens, and we get sick of it and we complain about it, and then they will like start to trickle some new stuff in. But I feel like they've really taken a step back this Christmas. They've really focused on packaging and labeling rather than actual new genuine fragrances, and it's kind of disappointing. And if you're gonna give us old fragrances, like, why can't you like give us something that we actually asked for, like Winter White Woods, Mary Mistletoe, Winter Garland, Snow Day, like anything? Like, why? And like we get new stuff and it's like trash, like Alpine Skies, or it's just like black tie and friggin' champagne toes for the fifth time in the season. You know, it's just vanilla Birch again. Like, I don't understand who asked for sparkling woods or blue winter sky. I just don't understand. It's just very frustrating. I've come to the realization that Bath & Body Works, being a huge corporation that they are, you know, everything is driven by money and numbers. So basically, when they have all these retail stores, they have to put out product that's going to make the most money per square foot or whatever. And so what happens is that they basically have to make a decision of, are we going to put out a new fragrance and risk losing money on it, or don't make as much money as a fifth packaging of fresh balsam? Or do we just put out fresh balsam again for the fifth time? Or do we put out the new thing? They're going to play it safe, especially during a pandemic year, and put out the same repackaged crap in a new label over and over again, versus risking something new. And if they do risk something new, it's usually going to be like a safe like fragrance that is a slight tweak or a repackage on something that we've had before that's been a proven seller. And so we don't actually get anything new anymore, because they rather just go take the safe route and make, you know, all this money by putting fresh balsam into like hundreds and hundreds of stores across the nation, versus risking it for something new. So I think that's why we get like 5 fresh balsam versus like, why couldn't one of those just be a new fragrance? Well, they make so much more money with fresh balsam than they do on the new stuff. And then if the new stuff fails or whatever, then it has to go to SAS and clearance, and they lose money out on it. It just sucks that we're dealing with such a huge corporation in a retail like brick and mortar operation, that they have to make decisions based on that. But that's how every business is. Like, it's all about the bottom line. It's just very disheartening, or sucks that we just can't get the unique fun stuff that like we used to, like way back in the day. And of course, there's a lot of new fans in the Bath & Body Works community who don't care about, like, you know, repackages, because they've never even had it in the first place. So they cater to that as well. And yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of disappointing. I'm just like, I wish there was a company out there who could, like, of course everyone wants to make money and they have to run it as a business, but I wish there was some compromise where they could maybe put like a limited quantity or limited stock of more unique experimental fragrances, like maybe online, that we could grab online, so then they're not having to ship them out to all the stores and stock them in the shelves and take up shelf space, and they could just put them online and give us online exclusives that are more unique new fragrances to appeal to us loyalists who have been with them for a long time and just want something genuinely new. I don't know. Or I wish there was just a company that was like BBW, who had a bomb like 3-wick candle, but had a better variety of fragrances and wasn't afraid to take risks or put out better fragrances that wasn't just the same old basic crap that's over and over and over again. So yeah, I actually finally put in a first order for Goose Creek candles. I didn't completely agree with a lot of their questionable marketing decisions in the past, but I've gotten so many comments about how amazing Goose Creek is, and they have 3-wick candles and they have sales all the time. So I did finally put in a Goose Creek order, and we'll see if their 3 wicks are up to par. But it's just so aggravating. Just as a fragrance lover, I just want a candle company who is accessible and affordable to put out fragrances that are new and unique, and not just the same old crap over and over and over again. It's like, if there's anybody out there who makes a bomb-ass 3-wick candle that is safe and throws well and needs creative direction and fragrance ideas, like literally hit me up, because like, oh my god, I feel like there's such a market for like a slightly elevated BBW candle company who isn't afraid to take risks and could maybe possibly like, you know, lose out on some money here and there in favor of actually creating new fragrances that cater to fragrance lovers here in this community, rather than just pandering to the basics who just come into the mall and like love everything and love every packaging and variation of Bath & Body Works products that are out there. I believe there's a market for that, and I would love to create that, but it's just like I don't have the resources or the skill sets to create bomb-ass 3-wick candles that are safe, that don't soot, and are very strong. So yeah, just putting that out there in the universe, and yeah, we're gonna see. But yeah, that was basically my rant. I'm just so sick of the repackages. Like, this is a thing that happens like all the time. It's a cycle, it's inevitable, but I'm just like, let me just get it off my chest again and see if anybody else feels the same way about it, and that is my rant. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.